Tom,
Brandon.
did you see the thing that is making Chiefs fans lose their mind?
About Nick Sirianni.
See ya! That's
I
the
feel
most
like Nick
broy
Sirianni.
he's ever looked.
Yeah. Oh, baby. We here.
We're still
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And all the people are saying GPS. Yeah. We here.
Kids are saying, yo, mama, give me that navigation system for Thanksgiving.
That's
Put
true.
it in my turkey and I want to eat some GPS.
That's accurate. There are
And the
people who
mom
want
said,
to eat
we
us.
told you you are not allowed to watch that bullcrap.
No. There's the devil that's on there because they just saw your power rankings once and they were just like, never again.
Now this guy, losing
Mm.
it.
Hey folks, how we doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy day before Thanksgiving, which it does not feel like at all. And maybe that's just a me thing. It's just like, nope. Like you said tomorrow, all right, no idea. Not a clue.
We
all sense of time.
We have a calendar in the kitchen to put, shit on that's happening that everybody in the house needs to know about. And Jess the other night was like, is Thanksgiving Wednesday? And I'm like, no, it's always Thursday. It's like the calendar says it's on Wednesday. Calendar is wrong. The calendar was wrong. So I had to ease up. And you're right. It just sneaks up on you.
It does. Justin, I think that's a pretty solid trade. That's not too bad. I think that's pretty solid. Yeah, I agree with that.
You had one job, calendar. Really? The 2 days
really
you
just
can't mess up? Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
4th of July.
Yeah.
4th of July. That's the other one.
That is true. There should not be school. There should not be school today. It shouldn't.
There should never be school. Let everybody be dumb.
I mean,
it's like, why even try anymore?
It's just like, guys, let's just call it. We have a lot to talk about because this is the first time that we're together since Monday Night Football.
Oh.
So we got to talk about that Monday Night Football game, which I know Brandon Perna was real happy about. Oh, God, he's looking for props. Is it the belt? Is it the belt?
See my impression of a Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, Tom? Oops, wait. Sorry. They almost caught that one. Oops. Hey, Andy Reid, can I come play for Patrick Mahomes? Hey, Andy Reid, all your receivers are terrible. Even Travis Kelce's fumbling. Well, there goes Travis Kelce in the red zone. Wow, no, Tom, I just want to play for the Chiefs.
As you can see, I think Brandon's a little happy the Chiefs lost.
It's an Aaron Hernandez signed football, by the way. No. This is good TV right here, Tom. This is good TV.
Because of course it is. Because why wouldn't it just be a random football? Why wouldn't it be anything signed by, I don't know, a former Denver Bronco legend?
Aaron Hernandez signed ball, baby.
Why do you have that?
Why don't more people have it?
I can think of a couple of reasons why that is potentially on the downtrend. I don't win a betting for the kitty.
I do want to talk about the Chiefs-Eagles game, obviously. I want to talk about the Barry Sanders documentary today. Yes. I want to talk about the games coming up tomorrow. We're going to do some actual football talking. Don't you guys worry.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go. And no.
Fumbling that much really takes the wind out of you.
No, Branch. No.
Ooh.
No. No. But enjoy that first game, though.
Go.
All I got to say.
Go, Lions, go.
That was like go pack.
Go pack. I'll take go pack. Oh my god, I'm dying inside. Carmi really grew up with GPS, I think. I think that I should not play child support, but I think my name should be on the birth certificate. I'm going to put it out there. Appreciate it. I have a great time.
She's one of the first full GPS kids. She's in the GPS generation.
It really is. And it's in the generation. It's something. No zombie with a fitty! Boop! But I didn't boop it for that. I did it for the fitty for the kitty. Why does everyone want to... Dude, if Brian Branch gets an interception tomorrow, do you understand? Like, my world is going to... It's going to be...
I hope he gets 2 interceptions tomorrow. I am rooting... Watching the Barry Sanders documentary last night makes me want the Lions to win so much more. And I already really want the Lions to win. I mean, God, come on, Detroit. Let's get all the way.
How dare you talk to me like that?
There's some amazing guys on that staff. Coach Grossi, guy who puts all this time in.
Yeah, I put all my time in. Even Russell Wilson knows. Okay,
Ooh,
and you're talking to me like that.
Russ evaluating coaches, not a great track record, Tom.
Hey. Okay, let's talk about Monday Night Football. Let's get into that. So you picked the Eagles to win. I originally picked them. Then I went with the Chiefs.
Oh, you flip-flopped.
I did. So I think we really need to stop giving the Broncos credit because obviously they haven't beaten a good team yet.
Oh,
sorry.
Ooh, Chief Kingdom right in the nuts.
Sorry.
Bam.
I can get one. And the best part is like I'm streaming that game and MVS drops and I was like, oh, hey, it's MVS. And I didn't even know who he threw it to begin with. Because as a Packers fan, I have seen that so many times. I was like, oh, yeah, that's the heartbreaking loss, like right in the hands. Like, yeah. But it seems that no Chiefs receivers can catch the ball. And they hate the second half more than the Packers hate the first half.
Yeah.
Like if you put the Packers first half with the Chiefs second half, you'd have a team that scores 0 points.
They'd be the first overall draft pick.
Yeah, easy. Do you look at this game and go like, all right, wow, the Chiefs actually have significant problems. Oh, the Eagles are really good. Because like I have a couple weird takeaways from this game.
Yeah. I am so relieved that the Eagles won that football game because watching it, I was like, God dang it. I'm going to have to give the Chiefs a lot of credit. Because, and I'll talk a little bit about it in power rankings, but I thought their offensive and defensive line were outplaying Philly.
Absolutely.
And you look at Philly, the strength of their team is their defensive front, and they're off it's just kind of like known. Eagles offensive line is the best in football, right? Like that's what the truth is.
It's the Lions.
And Kansas City wrecked them. 5 sacks. 5 sacks in that game for Kansas City. I thought they were physically outplaying Philadelphia. And, and Philly's a good team, so they're gonna get some plays. They're gonna score at some point. But I'm just ignoring these because I am trying to finish a fucking thought here. Can't hit me with a Wayne Gacy. You can't hit me with Gacy.
I was like, I've been so good. I've just been quiet. I've been letting you go on your rant. Yeah. I haven't listened for the past hour, but
yeah. So like I thought the Chiefs were playing pretty well. That they were playing the style of football they needed to win that game. But yes, they do have one tragic flaw this season, and it happened week 1 in Thursday night, the opener against the Lions, right? The whole thing was like Kadarius Toney can't catch a football to save his life.
Yep.
He was the scapegoat that week. Prime time again, it's MVS, which took a lot of heat off Travis Kelce fumbling in the red zone, which was more a better defensive play by Bradley Roby. But I was prepared to have to give the Chiefs a lot of credit, say this is a team ready to get back to the Super Bowl because of how physical they are, how good their defense is. But if the guys don't catch the footballs,
Yeah.
it's hard to win. It's just hard.
So, yeah. There's a lot that I want to talk about because I want to talk about the O-line of Philly in that first half. Like, dude, like Jalen Hurts was getting demolished. And it was like the D-line was getting after him. McDuffie was coming in on blitzes too. Like it was
McDuff man.
And I was just like, wow, okay. Like this is a defense that we've known about all year, but this was like on prime time against one of the best offensive lines. And it was kind of like, wow, all right, like this is impressive. And then I think it's just a mix of the Eagles did a better job with protection. In addition, like you actually started seeing guys get open. But I would say, like, for the most part, there were concerns like coming out of this game for both teams. And I think you could have a completely different result if like they play again in the Super Bowl. It just seems like they are a team that it seems like it was a game that was actually very great. It seems like it was a game that was very similar to the Super Bowl in which like it was a tale of two halves, right?
Yeah.
Because Philly was really good in the first half in the Super Bowl, and then the Chiefs, or vice versa, I don't remember which one it was. I think then the Chiefs were better in the second half. And like it was kind of the opposite here. And for the Chiefs, doing that against the Eagles and still almost winning, having like multiple chances to win. Happy birthday, by the way. Oh, another happy birthday.
2 birthdays. Happy birthday.
I think it's now a pattern that is some cause for concern about the Chiefs' second half, like performance this season. Because like it's starting to be like like this is not so great. Because we looked at the Chiefs last year, they traded away Tyreek Hill, right? And they're like, they traded away their best receiver. They got like Juju Smith-Schuster, MV, like all these people, right? That are kind of like, okay. And they win a Super Bowl. And we just assume they're going to be able to do it again. And Rashee Rice has been having a nice season, is like starting to come along as like a real threat. But dude, like, I think you're starting to see, like, when Travis Kelce is not on, like, a lot of it's going to look bad, especially the receiving core. You're going to see how actual, like, thin it is.
I've never agreed with a comment so much in my life, by the way.
I do not doubt that you agree with that.
So,
yeah, I thought you were talking about my football take for a second, but
nah,
like, there's no way.
No.
There's no way. No.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about it Friday, but we didn't get to it. Like Travis Kelce, and it came out before the game, like he's contemplated retirement more than ever. And this season, I think, has been an example of he's been struggling through injuries, and it's affected, I think, him a little bit. He had those 2 like insane games, but he had the injury early in the season, and then I think it's just like lingering things are affecting him a bit. And it wasn't just the fumble he had in the red zone. There was also a 3rd and 2 play that went like through his hands in that game. Like you just don't see him make those mistakes. So like that's an interesting thing to keep an eye on. They probably should have kept Juju Smith-Schuster, honestly. Like I think it's just been 2 years in a row where there's like too much change. They're trying to figure out who the guys are. And Mahomes needs like that guy he can count on and the guy he's going to know where that player is.
And that's Kelce.
It's
like that's
it's Kelce, but they need that guy opposite of him. It was Kelce and Hill. Like it was a dynamic duo. And I thank the Dolphins so much for just making Tyreek Hill a real offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're going to give me like 20 or 30 more $1 million. So I am going to Miami. But and the Chiefs lead the league like in drops, I believe. I want to believe that trend is going to continue. Like I really do, but I don't think it will. I think there's going to be games where they're not dropping those passes and the Chiefs are scoring those points at will. But I'm hoping this trend continues. The other trend I'm hoping continues is just Chiefs fans losing their minds because of this.
31-14
I saw so
Dallas.
many Chiefs fans so upset about that. So, and I get it. Like they're going right back to, well, we beat you in the game that it mattered. Where were you in the game that it mattered? It's just every fan base is fragile. That was a reminder.
Yes.
And I saw like some friends of mine retweeting it, talking shit to Sirianni. I saw Cole, who is usually PG-13, called Sirianni a tiny peckered coach or something. Like, it really got to him. Like, it got to him. And I don't know why. You've been so successful, Kansas City. You've been so successful. Like, that clip there, that was like, that's the last 2 years of Broncos football every week. Everybody's just like, you suck, you suck.
Sure.
And I think like Sirianni probably was hearing Chiefs fans talk a lot of crap to him all game. And that was just a culmination of it. And he is a frat guy, and he's going to act like a frat guy when his team wins. And that's just what happened. So it brought me a lot of joy to see how much that drove Chiefs fans crazy.
It's interesting because I feel like after last year's Super Bowl win, there was kind of a mild acceptance from Chiefs fans that were like, okay, people are going to hate us now. Like, because now it's like, we're winning a lot.
You've won too much. You've won too
another
much.
Super Bowl. There's going to be like the turning of like, okay, we don't really like the Chiefs anymore from a good chunk of fan base. Because the same thing happened to the Patriots, right? It happens with any team that's like good for a long time or like a substantial amount of time. And I found, like, for example, like when the Packers would play, if there was a ref call that went for us, and I was like, oh, great. Like, that's all, like, that's all I'm going to hear about for the next like week. Oh, that's how the Packers didn't win, because I'm just like, so it sucked every single time. So Chiefs fans have gotten that as well. You even saw that with the roughing the passer thing, because I was streaming it and roughing passer was called and it was like, it's the Super Bowl all over again. Like, and it's just rigged and all of this stuff. And you're starting to see like, this is what's going to happen. Yeah. So like when your team loses, it is going to get amplified a ton. And I feel like the Chiefs have gotten away with losing this year because week one, right? Even you have like, oh, the asterisk got to be on the Lions win, right? Because week one didn't have Travis Kelce or Chris Jones. Oh, there's that. And then losing to Russell Wilson is like, well, you know, Patrick Mahomes had the flu and he was sick and all of this stuff. The point that I'm trying to make now, and then like it was rainy, whatever, is that you lost some tough games. I think there's some concern about that second half performance, as someone said in the super chat, literally averaging 5 points in the second half.
Yeah, like, haven't scored a point in the second half for 3 straight games. Is that what the stat is?
Yeah, but like, bro, like you're gonna win the division. Like you're gonna be fine. It's just gonna be like, can you fix these things by the time it comes to the postseason? You just gotta win. But Chiefs fans, like this is the rest of your life now for a good chunk. Like this is what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So
the wheel got bold to pick the Chiefs, and it was right.
It did. So that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's
I may propose to the wheel if it curses the Chiefs out of the playoffs. I may be the next person to marry an inanimate object. The other thing about that Sirianni clip that I love is that there's the Chiefs fans like pissed off about it, and then there's the Chiefs fans that like it because that means that the next time the Chiefs play the Eagles, they're gonna win. They're gonna remember that, and they're gonna you know, if MVS remembers Nick Sirianni while the ball is in the air coming to him in the Super Bowl, he's actually gonna catch it next time. I think like that's the most overrated like motivational thing is the bulletin board material. Like Nick Sirianni talking trash to Chiefs fans is somehow actually going to make the Chiefs a better football team in the Super Bowl if they play the Eagles. Like they're not already motivated enough to win.
Oh, dude, like it's gonna be rough. Like if
the Chiefs do win, Nick Sirianni he's gonna be in hell.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be.
Which I also love. That's what I love about shit talking is
it comes awesome, back around.
But you got it happened to Deion Sanders, right? Like the confidence when you win, being outspoken about it is awesome. But then if you lose, the blowback's so much worse.
Dude, yes, exactly. Look at the Bengals. All like it went from they beat the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl, and it was like, wow, like look at this team, Joe Burrow, like They're young. And then they started to get pretty good. And then there was some trash talking going into Arrowhead, and it was Burrowhead. And I was like,
No.
oh, no. I was like, no, you guys don't understand. First of all, it's the Chiefs. Second of all, I was like, if you guys lose,
Yeah.
it's going to be bad. Like the mayor, it was just like, you know what? Maybe we need to rethink our elections. Like it was bad. So yeah, it is.
Maybe the elections are rigged.
I do want to talk about the Eagles though, because we're talking a lot about the Chiefs. Do you feel better, worse, or the same about the Eagles going forward now? Because that's a question. They have the best record in football. Yeah. They're number one in the NFC still, and they just went into Arrowhead and won like a close game. Do you have concerns for them still, or do you go like,
no, I feel the same. I feel the same. They're a very good football team. They're going to be in every game. Jalen Hurts has 13 straight wins against winning teams. This just like with Philly, I don't think it's ever going to be pretty. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But their offense always has the potential to be like a 30-point offense. They have a great defensive line. They can get pressure. So it's just, I don't think they're the best team in the NFC though. Like, I think the 49ers are a better team.
Oh, you think the 49ers? Dude, that game.
Even with the 3-game like losing streak.
I know. Yeah. No,
but it's mostly because we just haven't seen Philly like go to their ceiling yet. And after a while, it's like, are they going to hit that consistently? Like 2 weeks in a row, I just want to
you could say that about any team. Like,
I know.
This year, like, that's the weird thing. Because even the 49ers, they have weird games.
We're nitpicking, right? It's like, how much, like, but if the Eagles and 49ers play in the playoffs, I'm probably feeling better about the Niners at this point.
They're playing in a couple weeks, buddy. Like, that game's going to be insane. They just moved the Texans game like to the 1 o'clock because they're like, everybody's gonna be watching that 4:25 game.
They moved the Broncos game to 1 o'clock because they didn't want people not watching the 49ers Eagles game.
Because they want all the eyes on the 49ers game, so they moved the Texans.
Which is lame as hell, NFL.
Say the Broncos.
Also, but to be fair, I was very happy for the early game. I prefer the early games.
I know you do.
It just makes my life easier.
I hate them. Real quick for the Lions, because people were upset with me, spoilers, with the power rankings. I put the Lions at 7. Like, I pushed them down. I did. Shut up, Perna. So, wait a minute. I'm sorry. You get no judgment when it comes to power rankings. So, the Lions, in my opinion, right? So, they didn't look that great against the Bears, but they battled back. They won. It is still the Bears, but it's a divisional game, whatever.
Sure.
In my opinion, it's that defense that needs to get better, especially in like that secondary. The passing defense needs to get better. And then on offense, it has to be limiting mistakes from this past week, but I don't think they're going to be making that many. I think maybe the experience will kind of hurt them a little bit when they get to the playoffs. And I say when, because I still think they're going to win the division. But my thing about the Lions is firmly, I think they bounce between the 3rd and 4th best team in the NFC, right? Because you have the Eagles 49ers, who I think are in like a little bit of a league of their own, right? It's not much of a step, but there is a gap there. Then it's like the Cowboys, Lions are hanging out around here. So I feel like with the Lions, they just need to be a more complete team. Like they need to have like a shutdown guy in the secondary. I know Brian Branch is great. Like, they just need somebody to, put them over the top, and I think it's on the defensive side of the ball.
I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson's injury has really hurt their defense more than we want to give credit to. And and I think it was Dan Campbell's not super optimistic he'll be able to return this season. So that would be the concern there. It's like you got the player there. He just got hurt. And, they'll figure it out, though. They'll figure it out.
No, I'm not concerned. I mean, listen, if you're a Lions fan, I would not be concerned. Yeah. But, I mean, they're playing the Packers tomorrow. Packers injury list is a book. Freaking Luke Musgrave, our rookie tight end, had a lacerated kidney. Like, dude, he was in the hospital, so, he's not going to be playing. Aaron Jones has a sprained MCL. He's unlikely to play tomorrow. Like, that thing is a book. It is thick. So, you guys will probably get another divisional win. I'm hoping the Packers win, but it is going to be an uphill battle. So, I don't know. Flying great. It's always going to happen. I mean, does that stuff help? Yeah. No. Does the Taylor Swift stuff help? No. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's
honestly,
any team that wins a lot.
Jackson and Brittany Mahomes made me like Patrick Mahomes more. I'm like, oh man,
Cardinals go shoot.
Pat got a lot to deal with, so I liked him more. Also, I don't know how lovable Travis Kelce is to the world. His podcast has helped. I like him, but I don't think Travis Kelce rubs everybody the right way. You know, he's an in-your-face guy. Chiefs fans like that. But if it's Travis Kelce and Nick Sirianni are so similar, guys. They're so similar. They're the same bro. They're the exact same bro.
Yeah, they're frat bros. It's all good. Like,
exactly.
There's frat bros. That's all.
But
yeah.
What? Huh? What? Underdog fantasy, Tom?
Did you place pick'ems on?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We had a wild day yesterday.
Where's Jess?
She was in the bathtub. Let me see if she'll come down.
Jess.
If she's naked, she can't.
No. Do you want me to call her too?
No. All right, she'll answer your call and not mine.
That'd honestly be hysterical. I would say, all right. Are you riding now?
Are you out of the bath? Wait, you either are or you're not.
Schrodinger's bath.
We were gonna have you make my underdog picks.
Hi, Jess.
So come back down. You got like 20 minutes, and then come make my picks.
Come make my picks.
Yeah, I don't want you to know anything about what you're doing. Just come down here and make my picks.
You'll do better, Jess.
Bye. She'll be down in like 20 minutes. I said, are you out of the bath? She said, yes. Sort of. Like, well, you either are or you're not. She said, well, I'm getting out, but I'm not ready.
I don't think after just one game of that, because Goff has been pretty damn good this season.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
And again, he also roared on back. So yeah, I think
Goff's fine. Every quarterback's going to have an off game.
That is very true, Pool. That is a very, very good point. I honestly forgot about that. I did.
Yeah.
Party, you want to talk about Barry
underdog?
Sanders?
Jess will make the picks for my Thanksgiving underdog games. They've got a ton of Thanksgiving fantasy games to play in, so check them out. Use our code GPS. We got a new QR code.
Oh, look at that!
Click on that.
Fancy.
Link in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to 100. They have Scorcher picks as well. So if you see a little tiny pepper next to a player, a little peppy, you can up to 100x your deposit with those Scorchers, depending on how many Scorchers you use. So check that out, and we'll go back. We'll make our picks a little later when Jess is ready.
People legitimately are looking at the curse wheel and be like, I'm just rocking with that now.
Yeah, you should have.
There's no way that this ends poorly. Nope.
It's on a heater. It's basically on like a win streak like the Broncos, you know? It's like a 4-5 game win streak like the Broncos.
Shaq Leonard. So
that was a surprise.
That was interesting. I know he had gotten less playing time, but do you think he clears waivers? I think he might because he's owed a ton of money.
Yeah, it's the money, and then there's the back issues.
See, I think a team will take a chance on the back issues. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. And I said the Broncos should go get him. And so now you got, Broncos fans divided upon whether or not they should go get Shaq Leonard. But I think he can still play. I know Colts fans are like, he's fallen off, but he was so good just like 2 years ago. He was insane. And he was unhappy about how he was being used in Indy. And then you all like a player of his caliber, a guy who's making that much money. You always have to worry like about a team just releasing him this late in the season. So there's a lot to like try and digest there, but just strictly football, I think you can get back to being healthier, and I think you can make an impact for, some team.
I like this actually. I like this NFL season a lot. I agree with you completely, by the way. I think he'll be able to contribute to some team. I actually like this NFL season, but it's all gonna be dependent on the postseason. Like I feel like these playoffs, because of what this season has been, are gonna be absolutely insane. And that's what I'm really looking forward to.
There's been too much good defense. That's the problem.
I just hope that we actually get like the NFC Championship game that we want. And what I mean by that is like, dude, I was so pumped for the Eagles 49ers last year. I was like, this is the game that we've been waiting for all year, these two NFC teams. And then we didn't get the game that we wanted because there was no quarterback for the 49ers. So I just hope that I just hope not. Yeah, it could be. It could be some upsets. And we got you want to talk about Barry Sanders? I didn't see the documentary yet.
Yeah. Well, one thing I wanted to, we should talk about Matt Canada too, but
oh yeah, we will.
One example of why I think like there's optimism for Shaq Leonard is Roquan Smith. You know what I mean? Like the changing of the situation goes to a good and I think the Colts have a good defense, but just maybe a better fit somewhere with the way he wants to play, wants to be used. I think that can make a big difference for him. So, Roquan Smith leaving Chicago, going to the Ravens, talked about how he was just happy to go play where he wasn't going to waste his career away. So, like that type of thing. He has to go to a good team, I think.
Yeah. Pardon, you got a fitty.
Oh, my goodness. You guys made it possible. Maintain some sanity through this season as a Pats fan. Love you both. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You. I don't know. This just feels right.
See, the problem is I can't watch that without thinking about wrestling.
Yeah.
There's like what I'm talking about. There's like the Young Bucks or like Kenny Omega will usually go like see ya and then kick someone in the face. So like that's where I got that from. That was the wrestling comment of the day. You would hear the explosion from wherever you are, I think. But I do want let's talk about Matt Canada because finally
that was a surprise.
Since was it 1942 or whatever it was, they haven't gotten rid of a coach mid-year. Like, dude, like they got rid of him. He's gone. Yeah. And it was really, really bad on Sunday. It was going against the Browns, but Mike Tomlin is like, I made this decision, mine alone. Right now, the person who should either feel the most relief and pressure is Kenny Pickett. Because now it's like the dominoes are starting to fall, and it's like, okay, buddy, like everyone was either giving you the benefit of the doubt or saying it's him. Well, now it's got to be you. Like you got to show that you can be better and you can have improvement because if not, if things don't get better, then it's like, even though if it was the right decision to get rid of Canada.
100% the right decision there. Let me see. Let me look up a stat real quick.
I saw it. Aaron is having his daughter is being born today. I don't think we should name your daughter. That's just a thing.
Oh, I want to name the daughter.
Yeah, Perna will. That's what I was trying to. Okay, yeah, Perna.
We shall call her. Mercury.
Mercury?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
It's just her name. Just came to me. Felt right.
Okay.
Mercury.
So when Aaron, when Mercury gets older and asks, Dad, why did you name me Mercury?
Yep.
They're gonna timestamp and go, well, go back to the November 22nd, 2023 edition of GPS, and Brandon Perna suggested Mercury, and that's why.
Mercury. That's right.
And then
you want a name? You got one.
well, why? What? But why? Why did he pick that name? And you'll just say, I don't know, because I thought of it.
That's right.
I think it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Oh
Or
yeah,
Dan Campbell. Name her Dan Campbell.
Dude, so there's also, to your, I know we keep getting talk about Shaq too, but like he goes to one of those good teams like the Ravens or something like that. Like it could be crazy. It could be nuts.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks that he's going to go to Philly. And it's just going to be like, yep, going to get there.
We'll pay you.
Get there.
All right. Barry Sanders. Bye-bye, Barry. Okay. Watch that last night.
Hi. What is it on, by the way? Is it HBO?
Amazon Prime.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Hard Knocks Dolphins aired last night. I went with Bye-bye, Barry because Barry Sanders
I don't think so.
was probably my favorite non-Bronco player growing up.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't know. I loved Barry Sanders. And then when we had to move to Wichita, Kansas, I was like, oh God, I hate having moved to Kansas. But at that point in my life, I thought I was going to grow up and be a professional football player. I played running back. I was like, Barry Sanders from Wichita. Maybe the same thing will happen to me. Maybe the same thing will happen to me.
Maybe.
Wrong. Did not happen. But Barry Sanders is, people can debate who the best running back to ever play the game is. I get it. They're going to put Jim Brown in there. They're going to put Walter Payton up there.
Yep.
Barry Sanders will be in the conversation. And that's fine. I get it. And statistically, other guys have had some seasons like Barry Sanders. But there's never been a player of any position that is as much of an outlier as Barry Sanders was. What that man could do with a football in his hands is just insane. So if you never watched Barry, if you're unfamiliar with his game, just watch Bye-bye Barry.
So much fun to watch. He's so much fun to watch.
He is the amount of tackles he could break, bounce off of, change direction. It is, Dan Patrick talked about like artists and like Picasso, and it was just perfect because like Barry Sanders is like the most artistic player. He was painting freaking portraits when he's playing. And I'm going to say this, Chiefs fans. I think the closest guy we have right now to Barry Sanders is Patrick Mahomes. They play different positions, but they're the type of player who you just watch them do something and you're like, how did that even happen? And guys flash like that, but nobody as consistently as Barry Sanders. Nobody did it on such a poor team year after year after year. So like what he did for the Lions, not a well-run organization, is just we will never see that again, ever. And before that documentary, like I was taking a shower, I was thinking about like why I liked Barry Sanders. That's how excited I was to watch it last night. I was like, the other part of his game is he was so humble, and him just handing the ball to the refs. I was thinking about that in the shower, and I was thinking about the act like you've been there before type thing. And then they brought that up in the documentary. I was like, holy shit! Like I was thinking about that before this documentary happened in the shower, looking at my naked body, and I was thinking, act like you've been there before. And so it's just something that stuck with me, obviously, when I was a kid. What was I saying?
Perna just does that. By the way, the Dan Campbell's scream, he'll just.
Oh yeah, we'll get that scream in here. We'll get that scream anyway.
Yeah, I think because Walter Payton, it's just not be because he also bad Bears team. Walter Payton was also a legend.
Yeah, but then he played for very good Bears team.
Correct. So Barry Sanders for me got put in to a horrible situation.
Yeah.
And despite everything, was that effing good. And I haven't even seen the documentary yet. It's just one of those things that, for me, he is the best running back of all time. And you could make an argument for Walter Payton. Could, and I think he's right there. Brown, absolutely. Barry Sanders, and it might be recency bias because I grew up and I've seen his stuff even when I was a kid, and I was like, damn, okay, yeah. That's impressive. And it's been more impressive, like just growing up. And I feel like you put out that tweet last night being like, there's not a guy who did it like Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
And I retweeted. I was like, yeah, like that's facts. That's true. And like Adrian Peterson, even like the way that he ran, and Adrian Peterson, I gotta give it to them, is like phenomenal running back.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just different though.
It's just different. It is very, very different. The style of running that they were, like being on a good team, like it was different.
Like,
and Sanders was just a very unique guy, unique player.
I would take Barry Sanders over Adrian Peterson like any day. Like what I love about Barry, right? He's like 5'8", okay? Undersized football player. Like Adrian Peterson, 6 foot or 6'1", just a truck. Derrick Henry, a truck. Both of those guys had 2,000-yard seasons. Barry Sanders had a 2,000-yard season for the Detroit fucking Lions, guys. Back when nobody thought the Lions were any good, and they weren't. Like Jeff Daniels in the documentary just talking about the darkness it is being a Lions fan in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Yeah. Nobody did more with less than Barry Sanders. Nobody ran like him. The closest in terms of being elusive, I think since Barry is LaDainian Tomlinson. And I love LT. I think he's one of the best to do it too. LT's I think he should be top 5 talked about more.
He does not get talked about.
He also played on some very nice Charger teams. Had a great quarterback there too. Like most of those other running backs, defenses had to account for other parts of the offense working. And don't get me wrong, the Lions had some seasons in there where they made the playoffs with Barry Sanders, but like it's just statistically, sure, some other guys do some things, but nobody stylistically can match what he could do on a football field. And off the field, also a complete anomaly. Like this is a man who didn't want attention, he chose not to break Walter Payton's record. He chose to not win the rushing title his rookie season over Christian Okoye. He needed like 9 or 7 yards. And he was like, no, game's over. I don't need to do it. Like he's unique. He's unique. So
because like what you're talking about too is also the context, right? Upon which you think like just in the time, the team that they're playing for. Like that's why, like in my opinion, like I like Derrick Henry a lot, and I know like he hasn't had like the greatest season this year and stuff. But this is not why I'm making this comment. The guy in the NFL that I think is truly the best running back is Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
right, because he is so consistent. He is so good. Like he is effing great, right? And I think he will go. Like we'll be talking to him like like top 20, maybe something like that.
He's coming off a bad injury. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that might derail what his legacy could have been.
We'll see. But like he's been playing on some bad teams too and whatever.
Yeah.
And I still don't think Nick Chubb is like Barry Sanders.
No.
So
he runs gracefully like Barry, but if OJ Simpson didn't do some murders, we'd be talking about him in that conversation still, because like OJ has one of the craziest seasons ever. He's 2,000 yards in 14 games. Like it's insane. But since he killed people allegedly, what do we got? Can we just say he did it? Are we safe to say that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but like that's why nobody talks about OJ as a running back anymore.
I just want to get away from it. Yeah. Dude, I have no idea. By the way, this was actually something, Anime, that came up on Twitter about because like Jalen Hurts' MVP odds like shot up after Monday night, and people are like, why? Like Jalen Hurts, who's very good, like this isn't a knock on, but he has not had an amazing season. He's not had an MVP caliber season, but like it just jumped because he's on the Eagles and they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I still think maybe you look at Stroud, but dude, like I don't even know. Like Christian McCaffrey's on there. Tua, like I have no effing idea who's winning this thing.
And like I also see people say Bo Jackson too, but like he didn't play long enough to even be in that conversation. That Barry's longevity. Every year he had over 1,000 yards. Every year. And that's when defenses actually thought teams were going to run the football. So
it's true. He doesn't like all those fancy celebrations. He's just like,
I like celebration.
You should like, oh, these players.
You know what I love?
Too much
I love this. But yes, I like that Barry was humble. I like that part of it. I like when somebody's so good that they just want to let the game speak for themselves. They don't want to do that other stuff. I think there's room for both of it. I like both of those things. I'm not a boomer.
It's a hundo. Did you get that or I get? I think you got that.
Lord Taco.
Let's go, Taco. Let's go.
Johnny John John.
Woo! It's just
MVP. Oh yeah, the last thing, because the MVP, like, we don't really know who I think the MVP is right now. I'm thinking, maybe we can actually get a defensive player be MVP. Maybe that's Myles Garrett if the Browns continue to win. But in that Barry doc, Troy Aikman was talking about Barry winning the Heisman, and I think this was after Troy lost. Like, it wasn't like a recent soundbite of Troy Aikman.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy was like, I was in the running because of all the attention I got being at UCLA, being in Los Angeles. He's like, it was nice to see the Heisman go to a guy who just straight up earned the Heisman. And that was Barry Sanders being at Oklahoma State. It was like, he wasn't getting the attention some of us other guys were getting because of where he played. He just went out and sheer skill earned that Heisman. I thought that was like a really cool soundbite from Troy, like back in the day. But
yeah.
Anyway.
I totally forgot about this, and I know, I'm sorry, but like I actually really, really want to talk about this with you. Do you know you're talking about the Tom Brady video?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I tweeted that, and that tweet like got so many comments and retweets. I was like, holy crap.
So I have so many feelings. I feel like I should pull it up.
I got it. Yeah.
All right. Can we pull that up? Yeah. Thank you, Scotty. Because I meant to put that in the rundown too. True story, Janine. True story. Probably because it's the Bears. Probably. But I would love to see the MVP award go to a defensive player. I would love it. Myles Garrett would be a great pick. Like, I would love to see that. Why not? Like, make it different, especially in a year where there's like no front runner for QB. Like, let's go. Let's get weird. Why not? Bring it back to somebody else. So
give CJ Stroud Offensive Rookie of the Year, and then let's give MVP to a non-QB.
That's so crazy. 53 rushing yards after 2 games in 1997, and then 2,000 yards in the final 14 games.
I just think the product, in my opinion.
Oh, it's not where you got. Oh yeah, show it.
There we go. All right, add. All right,
so in case you haven't seen this, so this was Tom Brady going on Stephen A. Smith. By the way, it's been a great week for Stephen A. Smith in terms of viral moments because he just went viral for the cars thing, which is amazing. But this was him talking about the league, and I have some like interesting thoughts about this, especially who it's coming from. So go ahead, Perna.
I've never agreed with Tom so much in my life.
And he's not talking
I think there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. Yeah. I don't see the excellence that I saw in the past.
Why not?
And
why not?
I think the coaching isn't as good as it was. I don't think the development of young players is as good as it was. The rules have allowed a lot of bad habits to get into the actual performance of the game. Mm-hmm. So I just think the product, in my opinion, is less than what it's been. I look at a lot of players like Ray Lewis and Rodney Harrison and Ronnie Lott and guys that impacted the game in a certain way. And every hit they would have made would have been a penalty. Your coach is complaining about
Kareem Jackson,
their own player being tackled, and not necessarily, why don't they talk to their player about how to protect himself? We used to work on the fundamentals of those things all the time. Now they're trying to be regulated all the time. Offensive players need to protect themselves.
Remember when we talked about the Patriots receivers going down before they took hits with that Odell Beckham Jr. thing? Dang, was I right about that?
It's not up to a defensive player to protect the offensive player. A defensive player needs to protect himself. I didn't throw the ball to certain areas because I was afraid players were going to get knocked out. That's the reality.
Wow.
I didn't throw it to the middle when I played Ray Lewis because you knock him out of the game, and I couldn't afford to lose a good player. I think there's a lot of mediocrity.
Okay. Hold on, real quick. That's an interesting comparison. That is a very interesting comparison. I could see the similarities. I could see it.
I just think they need a playmaker that can catch.
They do.
But then they're fun. If the Chiefs, they have one problem, literally just one problem. It's dynamic receiver, not named Travis Kelce. They get that, they're going to be so annoyingly good again. So annoyingly good.
You're not wrong. Screaming baby. All right. Yeah, I'll be streaming. I don't know which ones yet, but I'll be streaming on Sunday. Let's talk about that because I have so many thoughts about that. Because what Brady is saying, I completely 1,000,000% agree. Like everything that he said, I was like, yep. I think in terms about how the game has changed, it is night and day from like the Brady era and now in terms of hitting players. And some of that has been given up in the name of safety, which I don't disagree with, right? Because like there's some that is like, okay, like, yeah, like that was an unnecessary hit, what have you. You want to make sure that everybody's safe because when you don't have like star players playing, it hurts the brand, it hurts the NFL, and nobody wants to watch that garbage, right? People don't want to watch the Bengals without Joe Burrow.
How did Joe Burrow get hurt?
Yeah, I know,
His
exactly.
hand down on the ground.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's nothing for it's nobody's fault. The thing though that kind of peeves me a little bit is like Brady kind of doing some revisionist history and just be like, getting regulated. My dude, if he got touched, he was the first one complaining to the refs. He was the one being upset. Because, like, we could talk about, like, Patrick Mahomes, because you even tweeted about this on that Roughing the Passer, and he's turning to the ref to try and get the penalty, right? That Brady was also the guy who did that. So, like, I just want to be like, okay, I agree with everything you're saying, but let's also not pretend that you weren't the first one to run to the zebras and be like, hey, he hit me, right? And so I think that's the only thing that bothers me, but I think he's 100% correct. Because I think it's on the quarterback specifically, but it's on offensive players to make sure that they can defend themselves. The only reason they're in a defenseless position is because they ran a route, right? There's a defender that's close, and the QB made an active decision to throw that ball to that receiver.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think the other issue is like the players negotiated less practice time and those sorts of things in the collective bargaining agreement. So
I hate it.
That part that he's criticizing, that comes from the players.
Yeah.
But the NFL, year after year, trying to regulate how hits happen on the field is becoming more and more of an issue. And this season, maybe it's closer because we're watching Kareem Jackson get singled out for hitting hard. And to me, it makes the game less interesting, right?
Sure.
Nobody wants to see helmet-to-helmet hits. We're not advocating for that to be in the game.
Yep.
Brady's ACL injury literally changed how quarterbacks could be tackled by defenders. You cannot go low to tackle a quarterback. And a lot of times, quarterbacks are in a defenseless position in those situations, which is why they've taken it out.
Aaron Rodgers made the falling rule.
You can't fall on
Anthony Barr fell on him and broke his collarbone.
Which is
that's a rule now.
Stupid. It's absolutely, that rule is so stupid to me. People watch football because there's risk there, because it is violent. And the NFL has like an identity crisis with trying to continue to make the game safe while taking out parts of the game that people like. And again, nobody's advocating for more injuries. Okay. We're all for making it as safe as you can, but while keeping what makes football a draw, and people play it for those reasons. Players understand the risks. And I think Tom Brady's just saying something that a lot of people think and believe. And we've seen J.J. Watt tweeting so much this year about bad penalties related to defenses getting dinged for hits that aren't egregious. And it's like, I get it. If it's somebody doing dirty hits over and over again, and you got to make a statement, fine. But like, and the change has happened just in a couple years too, because with Kareem Jackson specifically, people have been bringing up like his hit that he had against DeAndre Hopkins and his return game as a Denver Bronco going into Houston. He lights up DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody's like, he couldn't make that hit now. And that was just a couple years ago.
Well, and that's so because people have been asked about Kareem Jackson, because to that point, the reason why this suspension got upheld, and I knew it was going to get upheld, is because like now there's a history for this season. And now that like the microscope is like on him, being like, listen, we're watching everything, your magnifying glass, I should say, is on him. Like any hit that you do that looks anywhere near egregious, like there's going to be consequences for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's so fascinating because we're talking about how defense has changed the game this year, because you see it in the quality of the offensive play. And like, again, quarterbacks have been not so great this year, but the defenses have found a way to play defense without doing that, you know, like without like the hard hitting. And I think maybe you could argue the quality of the product is not as good then, because it's not necessary. Like, do you think it's more like scheme rather than players now? Because I think like that does have a.
I think schemes have caught up to the offense.
Because you used to have the players that he mentioned, because you go, oh, those guys wreck games because you knew they're going to knock your head off. They're going to hit you, right? Like they are going to be, they're going to change it in a way of like, I'm not going to target that side of the field. Yeah. And I feel like maybe there's not as many players like that nowadays. Like the ones I could think of off the top of my head, like on defense, like a Fred Warner, maybe, right? Like a Cam Chancellor. Like, you could think of guys like over the middle of like maybe, but it's been more of like Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner, I know you don't like Sauce Gardner because of the holds, but in terms of just toughness, aggressiveness, like you're not looking and be like, wow, he's going to take your head off. It's just like, no, he's a good corner.
Yeah.
There's
no enforcers anymore. Enforcers are gone.
The hip drop.
If I got to agree with Brady, come on, guys. Ugh. Don't put me in that position, NFL. Don't put me in that position. But he said this before. He said this like 2 years ago with the Bucks.
Yes.
Or maybe it was last year before the Tampa season. He basically said this verbatim in this like interview where he was with Mike Evans and I forget who else was there, but you know, it is what it is.
I think we talked about this on GPS, I think on Friday. I think they're going to attempt to regulate it. I don't know how successful they are going to be. So, I mean, if they could do it in things like rugby, then yeah, but...
Oh, the hip drop?
Yeah, the NFL, I think it's going to be messy how they try and enforce that.
It's tough because I don't think what Logan Wilson did was egregious.
Nope.
But then if you saw what happened to the Florida quarterback, the Florida State quarterback, I think that was egregious. And that's like it shows like the worst case of what that tackle is. So that one's like a tricky one.
Yeah. Are we getting Jess
back down here? We'll get Jess back down here for them.
All right.
Oh, you're right there.
Oh, it's Jess.
Oh no, I don't have NFL picks ready. Underdog doesn't have my Thanksgiving picks ready.
This is so disappointing. I've never
my
been more
God,
disappointed.
Their games are tomorrow.
I've never been more disappointed in my
wow.
entire life.
Well,
hi Jess.
You got Jess.
Hi, Mom. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
We're making chicken and steak enchiladas tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we're going to the Pernas and doing, his mom always, of course, does like a ham, a turkey.
Got it.
There's like 5 animals on the table when we go.
Got it. Okay. Have a good time. Gonna be a party. Perna, you look so happy.
I mean,
thought I was gonna make some picks.
We'll get the picks. I'll do them with Jess.
Hi guys. Oh, hi Steelers 75.
We're trying.
Go Packers tomorrow.
Let's go. Right? We're gonna die probably because we are so injured, but it's okay. We're fine. Did you want to talk about the games, Perna?
Yeah.
Jess over Jets. GP Jess. Okay.
See ya. Sorry,
Bye,
Jess. Next, we'll get them.
We did try.
We're going to get these Turkey Day picks. It'll be in Jess Brain. So subscribe to Jess Brain to see them. Wow, what a long tease I did to plug Jess's channel.
That was rough. That was rough. I didn't even see Sherman.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I didn't even watch. No, I tried not to. All right, Packers Lions tomorrow because we got 3 games. GP Jess. We got 3 games. We got Packers Lions, which it's going to be tough. Like the Lions are a very good football team. They have the best offensive line in football, and the Packers are so injured. Coming off a win against the Chargers, which is great. But yeah, man, I know it's a divisional game, and I know there's some Lions fans that are like, well, we just got to beat them. We got to beat them. I think I'm still going to pick the Packers, obviously. But I think there's a good chance the Lions get that win.
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to win. I think it'll be a statement game for the Lions.
Don't like that. Don't like statements.
It's going to be a statement game. Tom's going to have a diaper after this one. But, Green Bay's coming up there, one of their best games. But you're right. I don't like the injuries for the Packers right now. It's just...
We don't have running backs.
It's going to be a little bit of this for the Packers the rest of the way. Up, down, up, down, up, down.
We re-signed James Robinson after we cut him. We brought back Patrick Taylor because he's going to be in there for, pass protection and stuff. So we have one running back, basically, which would be A.J. Dillon. We could use Jaden Reed, which would be really, really nice. But yeah, dude, they're just beat the hell up right now. Luke Musgrave injured. It's gonna be a challenge. I mean, but then again, we walked into Arizona years ago with Aaron Rodgers on Thursday Night Football and defeated the then undefeated Cardinals. But we don't have Rasul Douglas anymore, so
yeah, you don't have Aaron Rodgers either.
All right, calm down. Speaking of, the Jets also benching Zach Wilson. He's now the third string.
Third string.
Brandon Perna hates that because he wanted Simeon to start and not Tim Laser Show Boyle.
Robert Saleh is done, in my opinion. Robert Saleh couldn't evaluate a quarterback if he were looking right into Tom Brady's eyes. If Patrick Mahomes was standing in front of Robert Saleh, he'd be like, Chad Henne behind you? We'll start Chad Henne this week. Sorry, Robert Saleh. Your quarterback play, what you've done at quarterback is going to cost your team a chance at the playoffs. And it's unforgivable. It's some of the dumbest shit I've watched since Vic Fangio fired Rich Scangarella, who was working with Drew Lock to bring in Pat Shurmur. So you're going to start Tim Boyle over Trevor Simeon? Okay. Good luck with the guy who has a 1-3 touchdown to pick ratio.
So yeah, that game's on Friday, and that game's going to be a little rough, that Black Friday game. Then you have the Commanders and Cowboys tomorrow. I like to think this is actually going to be a closer game, but after the Commanders lost to the Giants, I just don't know. But then the Giants always beat the Commanders. I'd see this like a 31-14 game.
The Commanders, because they lost to the Giants, makes me think they're going to play better against the Cowboys. They're still going to lose, but I think they're going to give Dallas maybe a run for their money.
Yeah. And then the last game, got the 49ers Seahawks. Seahawks, I mean, Geno should be good to go, right? So we're rocking with Geno. They're dealing with some injuries. They're coming off a rough loss to the Rams. It's a divisional game.
Yeah.
It's in Seattle.
Sure.
Do you think the 49ers still smoke them?
Yeah. Like a Thanksgiving turkey.
I don't know if this is
I don't know about smoke them, but I think they'll win. And there will be no questions that the game was.
Team.
Yeah.
Maybe something similar to like the playoffs, like that wild card where it's like, oh, it's close for like that half or whatever. And then the 49ers run away with it.
I feel it's like a 31-20 type game for the Niners.
Okay. Seahawks, you're in for it, baby. You're in for it. Your next few games are going to be rough. 49ers twice, Cowboys, Eagles. It's going to be tough. But Perna, you got power rankings coming out today?
Yep. They will be up as soon as I can finish the edit.
Are they crazier than last week, or did you tone it down? I said you were going to tone it down.
Yes and no.
Yes to me toning it down, or yes to crazier?
Yes and yes. I've toned
Okay.
it down, but in a weird way, they might be a little more batty.
Oh yeah. Oh, those Oklahoma State stats. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I put out the NFC and AFC North reaction to Week 11 at 1 a.m. last night. So that premiered. So yeah, go watch that. That was something. Which, by the way, I don't think it will, but I may or may not have, because I was working literally all day yesterday and then premiered that at 1 a.m. Missed a fan of the year meeting that I didn't have to go to, but I didn't because I was working. So yeah, go vote if you want.
Where's this Grossi character at?
Might need those votes because I was busy making content. Sorry. That's true. That is very, very true. But yeah, I'll predictions out. It'll be later tonight, but predictions. So, but folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back on Friday for GPS, the day after Thanksgiving. I'll be streaming tomorrow for Thanksgiving. I don't know if there's clickbait. The guys seem like they don't know what's going on, so I don't know either. But folks, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic holiday if I don't see you. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is a G up a S.
You have been navigated.
No, you have been
navigated.
You've reached your destination as
well. Gobble,
That's
gobble.
you know what? I dropped the ball. That's on me because I didn't say you have been navigated. That was on me. Let's restart the show. I'll get the intro up. I'll get the intro.
Gobble, gobble, bitches.